All right, Shalom Makah. Give all praises to Abinah Yahweh Akkad, Ba'ashem Mashak Yahweh Shah, Brakatah Yahweh Akkad, Barak Zah Shabbat Yuan. Man, I'm gonna be pretty much doing a video replying to a video I did earlier, which is gonna be the video was titled "If the New Moon is Sabbath, how would Ezra get in Jerusalem when the gates are shut on the Sabbath?" But I said, if the new moon is the Sabbath, how will Ezra get in Jerusalem when the gates are shut on the Sabbath? Right? Because some brothers had an understanding that every new moon is the Sabbath. Then you have other brothers like myself that believe that the new moon is a feast day, you know what I'm saying, which can fall on, you know what I'm saying, the new moon, like the Feast of Trumpets, which that is a Sabbath, that's a commandment. But then you have other new moons where you see, you know what I'm saying, people working and stuff like that. So, you know, the Most High didn't give us commandments for that. So we're going to see Ezra's chapter 7, verse 9. It says, for upon the first day of the first month began he to go up from Babylon. So we have Ezra's leaving Babylon on the so-called day that some brothers believe is the Sabbath, that the new moon is the Sabbath. We have Ezra leaving Babylon on the Sabbath, on the first day of the first month. So how would he even be able to prepare, you know, if he's leaving? You know what I'm saying? He just left on a day. He didn't even get to prepare nothing. You know, and the scriptures talk about, you know, we're supposed to prepare before the Sabbath. You got a day of preparation. It says, for upon the first day of the first month began he to go up from Babylon. So we have Ezra traveling on the first day of the first month. All right, so let's go. So, like, you know, that's just totally off. You know, Ezra was a scribe in the law. So Ezra knew all the commandments, you know what I'm saying? There was no confusion about what's a sin and what's not a sin. Ezra knew, you know what I'm saying? Straight scribe in the Torah. Get Exodus 16 again. This is Exodus chapter 16, verse, it's like, Exodus 16, where do I want to go? Verse 29. It says, see, for Yahweh have given you the Shabbat, therefore he giveth you on the sixth day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the Sabbath day. Right? So the Most High got mad at brothers just for going to gather sticks on the Sabbath. How much more if you're traveling and going places? You know? Dude got put to death for picking up sticks on the Shabbat, man. So I don't think, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be doing too much traveling on the Sabbath. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's a little bit different over here in Babylon, you know what I'm saying, because we in captivity. So some brothers, you know what I'm saying, go do the work on the Sabbath. You got some brothers that like to do that, which that's a beautiful thing. Then you got brothers that try to rest on the Shabbat. But, you know, it's lawful to go do the work on the Sabbath. You know, say if you got to link up with your brothers on the Sabbath, and, you know, might have to put gas in your car, you know. So, like, can't be over righteous, but, you know, on the Sabbath, we are supposed to rest, man. It is supposed to be our rest. So why would we be traveling, you know what I'm saying, and we supposed to be resting? You know what I'm saying? Brothers act like they're greater than Yahweh. Did Yahweh travel on the Shabbat? Okay. We talk about the Heavenly Father. He rested, man. Okay, there ain't nowhere you go find him. Uh, you know, traveling. All right, now we are, seeking the mercies of the Most High. Um, let me go back to this Exodus 16 and 29. Yeah, he said, "Abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the seventh day." So the Most High don't want you walking around and traveling and doing stuff for vanity that's not profitable. You know, if you're gonna be walking around and doing stuff, man, you should be trying to, you know, redeem the sheep out of the hand of these wolves, man. Do the work. That's the only way you really should be, moving. If it got something to do with this word, but if it ain't got nothing to do with the word, and you just at the mall, you going to the movies, you looking for, trying to find you some women on Shabbat and all type of madness, and, you know, you're going off, man. So we're going. It says, "Abide ye every man in this place." Now let's go back to Ezra 7. Ezra chapter 7, verse 9. For upon the first day of the first month began he to go up from Babylon. So we see Ezra is traveling on the new moon. How is he doing this? The Most High said, "Let no man go out of his place on the seventh day." Exodus 16 and 29. So how is he going out of his place and leaving Babylon on the new moon? And on the first day of the fifth month came he to Jerusalem. My question would be like, how the hell is Ezra going to get inside Jerusalem on the new moon if the new moon is the Sabbath? Because according to Nehemiah, you can't get into Jerusalem on the Sabbath, man. This is Nehemiah 13 and 19. Nehemiah 13:19. And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark, before the Sabbath, right? Meaning it's about to get dark. Before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gate should be shut and charged that they should not be open. So the gates of Jerusalem were shut by the commandment of Nehemiah. And he charged that they should not be open till after the Sabbath, right? So if the new moon is Sabbath, how would Ezra be able to get into Jerusalem when Nehemiah made it commanded that the gates be shut until the Sabbath is over with, right? Till after the Sabbath. So if the Sabbath was the new moon, he wouldn't have been able to get inside Jerusalem on the first day of the fifth month, according to Ezra 7:9. He wouldn't have not been able to get into Jerusalem because the gates are to be shut on the Sabbath day, showing you that the new moon is every new moon is not a Sabbath. Now you do have the Feast of Trumpets, or the blowing of trumpets, the memorial of trumpets, which is on the seventh month. And there's multiple precepts to prove that all throughout Kings and Chronicles and all that, So it says, "For upon the first day of the first month began he to go up from Babylon." So he's traveling. He's not abiding in his place. And on the first day of the fifth month came he to Jerusalem. So, like I said, it's impossible for him to come into Jerusalem on the Sabbath, man. Nehemiah said the gates was closed until after the Sabbath, so he wouldn't have been able to get in. So let's go back to Nehemiah 13 and 19. And when it came to pass that the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut. So Nehemiah commanded that the gates should be shut. So you're not getting inside the city, and charged that they should not be open till after the Sabbath. So once these gates is closed, ain't no getting up in Jerusalem, man. It's a wrap. Till after the Sabbath. You got to wait till the Shabbat is over. So if the new moon was the Sabbath, he wouldn't have been able to get in there. That's why he was able to go to Jerusalem on the first day of the fifth month, because it wasn't the Sabbath. Therefore, the gates were open. But if it wasn't, what if it was the Sabbath, he would have been able to enter in because Nehemiah says that the gates are to be shut um you know till after the Sabbath, that the gates should be shut and charged that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. So the gates of Jerusalem will not be opened till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants said I at the gates that there should be no burden, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. Now traveling, that's a burden, and you're bringing in burdens in Jerusalem if you was traveling into Jerusalem and out of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. But we know no Ezra knew the law and the Torah, so that's why he was able to come to Jerusalem on the first day of the fifth month, because that's not a Sabbath. Okay, now the first day of the seventh month is a Sabbath, but other than that, where's the law on the monthly Sabbaths? There's no law. That's why Ezra was traveling and he came into Jerusalem, because the gates was open. Now, if it was the Sabbath, the gates would have been closed, like Nehemiah said. That there should that there should no that there should fuck it, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. So they don't want burdens being brought in on the Sabbath day. All right. Now let's go to Jeremiah 17, because this is a verse I wanted to bring out earlier, but I didn't get to bring it out. Jeremiah 17:20. And say, hear ye the word of Yahweh, ye kings of Judah and all Judah, and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem that enter in by these gates. Thus saith Yahweh, take heed to yourselves, and bear no burden on the Sabbath day, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem. So you can't bring any burdens and bear any burdens on the Sabbath day. This is in the book of Jeremiah, the prophets. Nor bring it in by the gate of Jerusalem. So you can't even bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem. Ain't coming in them gates of Jerusalem. Neither carry forth a burden out of your houses. So you're not even supposed to be carrying burdens it's like you're not supposed to be carrying burdens out of your houses, man. So how the hell you gonna lay it in the ass to go travel, to go travel when according to the people that say that new moon is a Sabbath, that's supposed to be y'all Sabbath. How is he carrying burdens out of his house and laden asses? Okay, because he had to travel unless he was walking, unless he walked. And if he walked, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he had a staff and other stuff, maybe books, scrolls. Could have had food. Who knows? But, he was traveling, man, and carrying burden. You know what I'm saying? He didn't abide in his place. And this is Ezra's. Ezra's knew the law. Neither carry forth a burden out of your houses on the Sabbath day. Neither do ye any work, but hallow ye the Sabbath day, as I commanded your fathers. Right? Because on the regular day, when you working, you probably laid in the ass to go to work. You drive your ass out of the city to go to your job or whatnot. But on the Sabbath day, you ain't supposed to be doing that. But they obeyed not, neither inclined their ear, but made their neck stiff, that they might not hear nor receive instruction. And it shall come to pass, if you will diligently hearken unto me, saith Yahweh, to bring in no burden through the gates of this city on the Sabbath day. So the Most High don't want no burdens being brought in the gates of the city on the Sabbath day, but hallow the Sabbath day, to do no work therein. Then shall they there enter into the gates of this city kings and princes sitting upon the throne of David, riding in chariots and on horses. Right? See that? So it says, if you hallow the Sabbath day, then you're going to enter into the gates of the city riding upon chariots and horses. So that wouldn't be on the Sabbath when you'd be riding on chariots and horses. Okay? Let's get something real quick. Because you're supposed to rest, man. Even I believe your slave rested on the Sabbath. You don't have your slave go traveling for you on the Shabbat. Let's get that Exodus 20 and 10. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh thy God. In it shalt thou do any work. Thou shalt do not do any work. Thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy maidservant, or thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is in thy gates. It says even your cattle ain't supposed to be doing nothing, man. Nor your stranger, man. Okay? Most High says Shabbat. He say rest. He didn't say nothing about them traveling. Let's see. Look up this word cattle, Bahama. Okay, which it says cattle, beast, animal, livestock, a dumb beast, especially any large quadruped or animal, beast, cattle, right? Use of large land quadrupeds, meaning they walk on fours. So, like, you're not going to have donkeys and horses and chariots on the Shabbat, you know what I'm saying? He, Most High made that clear that if you keep the Sabbath holy, then you'll be able to do that, you know what I'm saying? But that wouldn't be on the Sabbath. And they shall come from the cities of Judah and from the places about Jerusalem, from the land of Benjamin, and from the plain, and from the mountains, and from the south, bringing burnt offerings and sacrifices, meat offerings and incense, bringing sacrifice of praise unto the house of Yahweh. But if you will not hearken unto me to hallow the Sabbath day, not to bear a burden, even entering in at the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. So he said he don't want you entering into the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. So it's no way that Ezra was able to do that in Ezra 7 and 9. On the first day of the fifth month came he to Jerusalem. Not if you believe that the new moon is the Sabbath. Okay? That you believe every new moon is the Sabbath. He wouldn't be able to come to Jerusalem on the new moon. Because y'all say that the new moon is the Sabbath, those that believe in it. The new moon, every new moon is the Sabbath. But the Most High said in Jeremiah 17 and 27 that he don't want nobody to be bearing burdens on the Sabbath and entering into the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. So if the new moon is the Sabbath, how the hell is Ezra's entering into the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day when Nehemiah said that the gates are to be closed and shut all the way till the Sabbath is over with? So Ezra wouldn't have been able to get into Jerusalem. Jeremiah 17:27. But if you now hearken unto me to hallow the Sabbath day, and not to bear a burden, even entering in at the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day, then will I kindle a fire in the gates thereof. So, Nehemiah made sure that the gates was closed, that nobody would bear a burden on the Sabbath day. And it came to pass when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut. Okay? And charged that they should not be open till after the Sabbath. So the gates ain't going to be open till after the Sabbath. So you ain't getting up in there. And some of my servants set I at the gates that there should be no burden be brought in on Sabbath day. That's why the gates are shut, so no burdens be brought in on the Sabbath. And what is one of those burdens? Ladding asses, traveling. What's that? Nehemiah 13 and 15. In those days I saw Judah some treading wine presses upon the Sabbath and bringing in sheaves, which you're not supposed to be bringing in sheaves. The Most High don't want you going out and gathering shit. Okay? The Exodus 16 proves that. Lading asses. Nehemiah wasn't with that, man. Grapes, all manner of burdens. All are called burdens. So letting an ass is a burden, according to Nehemiah 13:15. Okay? Which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. So these dudes wasn't even obeying the law. That's why Nehemiah went back there to, establish the order, man. So all praises to Yahweh. And Nehemiah said that the gates of Jerusalem are to be closed on the Sabbath. Okay? And Jeremiah said That the Most High don't want no burdens being brought in, okay, into the entering in at the gate to Jerusalem on Sabbath day. Bear no burden, man. Jeremiah 17:27. So how the hell would how the hell would Ezra go to Jerusalem on the new moon when the new moon is supposed to be the Sabbath to some people? How is he doing that when the gates are supposed to be closed? And when Most I said he don't want you bearing no burdens. That would mean Ezra was traveling, bearing a burden, which the Most High said he don't want that. And how would Ezra been able to travel? I mean, prepare for the Sabbath? You know what I'm saying? When he gets there on the first day, he will. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. So yeah, man. Ain't no way Ezra was traveling, bro. Like, out of Jerusalem into Jerusalem. This is out of the city, man. He's traveling from Babylon to Jerusalem on the Sabbath and then arriving on the Sabbath. He ain't getting no rest, man. So I praise God, Yahweh Akad, Bashim Shak Shah, Barak Zasha, Bafi Wam, Kal Yuam.